I used to think my life was unbreakable. Not perfect, just solid. A steady job, a small house with a stubborn maple in the yard, and a wife people admired. Emma could walk into a room and bend it around her. She was bright, quick, the kind of person strangers told secrets to. I thought we were a team, her shine, my steadiness. I thought loyalty was enough. Then came the late nights. First, she'd text, "Don't wait up." Then the texts got shorter, colder. Calls went to voicemail. Twice she came home past midnight with her lipstick perfect, and a scent on her skin that wasn't mine, expensive cologne with a citrus bite. I asked. She laughed, not playful, dismissing, like I was small. That laugh lived in my chest like a splinter. One evening, the shower ran, and her phone buzzed on the nightstand. The screen lit the room blue. My hands shook as I picked it up. Her passcode was still my birthday. She never imagined I would look. Charles. The name sat at the top, smug. The thread was a river of heat and hotel addresses. Same room? Can't stop thinking about last night. Selfies, his bare chest, her in a silk robe I'd never seen, words I can't erase. I could have walked into the bathroom and started a war. Instead, I put the phone down, leaned against the wall, and let the steam blot out the ceiling. Humiliation is hot at first, then it hardens. Mine cooled into something with edges. I wasn't going to shout. I wasn't going to give her the scene she could cry through. I was going to make her feel the weight, publicly, in a room she couldn't control. I played dumb. I kissed her cheek, packed her lunch, asked about meetings. When she worked late, I checked her location on the plan we both forgot we shared. Sometimes she was at the office. Sometimes she was at a hotel off the interstate with beige curtains and a broken ice machine. I learned the manager's schedule from a bored night clerk who liked to talk. I learned which exit camera was out. I followed once, 2 car lengths back. She parked. He arrived. Charles, taller than I remembered, the swagger of a man who collects hearts like keychains. He opened her door, kissed her like he was owed, and they drifted inside. I recorded their parking lot embrace with a steady hand I didn't know I had. At home, I built a folder called Receipts, screenshots of every message, photos, calendar reminders that matched hotel invoices in her email. I sat at the kitchen table under the soft buzz of the old light and made a map of betrayal. I started changing. Little things. I stopped filling the silence. I stopped apologizing when I hadn't done anything wrong. I cut my hair short and bought a black jacket that fit like a decision. In the mirror, my eyes looked colder. Villain eyes, I thought. The kind that don't blink when the hero begs. 2 weeks later, I overheard Emma on the phone. "Charles's birthday is next Friday. Yes, the downtown bar. Everyone's coming." Her voice had the light in it that used to be for me. Perfect, I thought. Rooms full of people are honest in their own way. I started planning. Not rage. Architecture. First, I made him expect something. From a new email address, with a name 1 letter off hers, I sent Charles 3 short messages. "Private gift for you at the party. Wait for my cue. You'll love it." No instructions, just the scent of promise. Next, I called the bar, cheerful and efficient. I said I was with the planning committee, that we wanted to run a short slideshow, baby photos, team moments. "Nothing complicated," I said. "I'll bring the laptop." People love being part of something festive. They said yes in under a minute. At night, I cut the evidence into a clean, cold reel. No commentary. Just timestamps, text bubbles, hotel logos, a slow zoom on the parking lot kiss. I kept it simple because truth doesn't need decoration. I added a title card only I would understand. The day I took it all back. While the file rendered, I tested myself. Emma leaned in the doorway one evening, hair damp, lips soft. "You've been different," she said, studying me like a puzzle. "Everything okay?" "Work," I said, shrugging. "Long week?" I held her gaze a second longer than before. She looked away first. Another night, she asked where I'd been. I told her at the gym. I don't go to the gym. I went to the parking lot where they like to meet and time the motion sensors. I cataloged the angle of every camera dome. It wasn't about crime. It was about control. The old me would have begged for answers. This new me gathered them with quiet hands. I also did something kind. It sounds strange, but the man I used to be didn't die. He stepped back. I wrote my pain down and put it in a drawer instead of putting it in anyone's face. I bought noise-canceling headphones and slept. I needed a steady hand for what I was about to do. Wednesday, I ran into Charles outside their office. He almost didn't recognize me with the new haircut and the jacket. "We've met," I said, offering my hand. "Emma's husband." His smile twitched, the kind of tremor a confident man hates other people to see. "She talks about you," he bluffed. "I'm sure," I said, and didn't let go until he blinked. I wanted him thinking about me all day. Thursday, I had coffee with a woman who messaged me back the first time I asked, his ex. She told me stories that tasted like old smoke, patterns, not accidents. When the bill came, she squeezed my wrist. "Get out clean," she said. "Or don't. But don't get stuck in the middle." I walked home in the wind, deciding exactly what clean meant to me. Friday morning, Emma hummed while getting dressed, the red dress I used to love, the heels that clicked a countdown across the hardwood. "Girls' night," she lied, and kissed my cheek. Her perfume was too sweet. I watched her leave and let the front door close like a judge's gavel. I waited 10 minutes, then picked up my bag. Before the party, I stress-tested myself. I sent a text from a fresh number, phrased like him. "Running late, same place?" She smiled at the screen and typed fast. "Can't wait." Then she looked at me and said, "Client emergency." I handed her the keys with a steady hand. The test wasn't about her. It was about whether I could sit inside the truth without flinching. I stopped by the hotel desk with a polite lie about forgotten cufflinks. The clerk found nothing, but an itemized statement slid my way for a second, long enough for a photo. Wrong name on the card. Right dates. Evidence is patient. At home, she tried a softer angle. "We're okay, right?" she asked, sitting close. "You've been distant." I said work was heavy. She stroked my knee and called me a good man. It used to feel like love. Now it sounded like a label to keep me tame. I rehearsed the slideshow like a drill. Click, breathe, click. I practiced saying only one sentence, and I practiced saying nothing at all. The point wasn't volume. The point was control. I wanted witnesses who mattered. A friendly voice in HR told me leadership would attend. Pride had invited them. Pride would seat them in the front row. I checked the bar's projector myself, tipped the bartender, memorized the light switch. One last measure. I left a decoy folder on my laptop labeled Taxes and watched her reflection in the dark microwave door as she opened it, then closed it, then stood still. Innocent people are curious. Guilty people are careful. She was careful. By sunset, the sky looked like steel. I stood beneath it and let my heartbeat settle. Anger burns out. Focus doesn't. When it was time, I picked up my bag and walked. On my way, I checked our joint statements. There it was. A hotel charge dressed up as conference services. A boutique perfume I never smelled at home. A dinner for two on a night. She swore she skipped lunch. The old ache pressed against my ribs. I looked at myself in a dark shop window and said it out loud so my mouth would learn it. Tonight, I stopped being the nice guy. I wasn't chasing pain anymore. I was choosing proof. If my hands shook, it would be from choosing, not fear. I kept going. Still. The bar pulsed with the kind of laughter people practice. Balloons hugged the ceiling. A poster-sized photo of Charles as a kid grinned beside the taps. I kept my cap low and moved through the crowd like I belonged. People always assume you belong if you don't apologize for it. There she was. Emma stood at his side, that half lean she does when she's decided a man is her son. He touched her wrist in a way that claimed audiences. I felt the old ache in my ribs, and I set it down like a weight I didn't need to carry anymore. At 9, the boss clinked a glass. Speeches, roasted stories. The bartender bent to the HDMI cable. "Slideshow?" he asked. I lifted my hand. "Got it," I said, and slid behind the DJ table, my laptop ready. The file name stared back at me like a loaded question. Emma saw me then. For a second, confusion. Then her face pulled tight, a mask searching for the right expression. She started moving toward me. I raised one finger, just a small gesture that said, "Not yet." The room dimmed. The projector woke. The first image was a text bubble. "Room 217 again?" Time and date stamp. Her name at the top. Quiet fell from the ceiling. Someone chuckled without meaning to. Charles looked around like the air had changed temperature. Next came a hotel logo, then a cropped invoice with the same date, the same time, the credit card ending in numbers I knew as well as my own heartbeat. A woman near the cake whispered, "No," like her mouth had found the edge of a cliff. Then the parking lot kiss. Not obscene, just obvious. A kiss that said, "This isn't a mistake. This is a habit." On the big wall, they looked like actors who had run out of script. Emma's voice was small. "Stop it," she said, not to me, but to the room, to the evidence. "This isn't—" She didn't finish, because the next slide was her selfie in the silk robe, that robe I had never seen in our home. Laughter came from the back, the hard kind that doesn't worry about manners. Charles moved toward the boss, as if proximity could rescue status. The boss stepped away. Phones rose like a forest of small, cold moons. I heard my own breath and nothing else. I took off my cap and let my face be seen. "Happy birthday, Charles," I said, my voice level. The mic wasn't on, but I didn't need it. Silence is a kind of microphone. Emma reached the table. "Please," she whispered, eyes wet, the words sliding on practiced desperation. "We can talk." "We are talking," I said and clicked again. The reel rolled on, tidy, undeniable. Dates, times, 2 more kisses, a message from him. "You make me forget consequences." A reply from her. "Consequences are for people who get caught." The room made a wounded sound that was almost a cheer. Charles tried to bluster. "This is harassment," he said, grabbing for authority he no longer owned. "I'll call—" He didn't finish because the final title card filled the wall. The day I took it all back. It wasn't a threat. It was a conclusion. A security guard took half a step, then stopped, not sure what problem to solve. The bartender turned off the music. The boss rubbed his forehead and stared at the floor like it might offer him a different story than the one on the wall. Emma's hand hovered near mine, not touching. "You're better than this," she said softly, almost lovingly, the way you talk to a dog before you take its bone. "Maybe I was," I said. "Not tonight." I closed the laptop halfway. The screen froze on the kiss. Every face in that bar leaned into the same moment, their moment, my decision. I felt my heart slow to a calm, heavy beat. Not triumph, not mercy, control. I pushed the lid down. The projector blinked to black. The crowd exhaled, a single long breath. "Happy birthday," I said again, and for the first time in weeks, I smiled.